Hi, welcome back to the Dance of Evolving. I am very excited about today's topic because I feel that it will change your day today if you start to apply it immediately, and it will definitely change the trajectory of your week, your month, and your year. And it has to do with what is consciousness and how do we establish this in our life. The thing is that if we don't have an awareness of our conscious and our subconscious, 95% of our lives will be spent unconsciously, like where we don't even realize what we're doing and where we're on autopilot and we're reactive. It affects how we treat people, it affects how we wake up and start our day, everything. And it all starts with our main core needs that our soul yearns for. And it doesn't matter how tough we try to act or how much we've even grown, what we have yet to conquer. Our soul wants to be seen, wants to be heard, and wants to have the space to express in this world. And the thing is that when there is a lack of any of these three things, this is where our subconscious kicks in. And it will start to not just respond because we don't even realize we're doing this, but it will react. And we start to place expectations. We try to take control of things. And we put needs on external things instead of internal. And I know I mentioned before, this is like every time we do this, brick by brick, and it's almost like we get walls, layer by layer. It actually shapes us into different people, a person who we are not at our core. And a lot of us don't even realize that we're doing this. And I'm speaking from experience because I've been currently breaking free from this, and it's so lovely. So that is what I want to talk about today. And hopefully you'll be able to also experience this, because as a collective group, if we can move into consciousness, change the world. So let's go ahead and talk about how to do this a little bit more. So instead of being on autopilot and reactive, if we can shift into consciousness, we go from the world happening to me and reacting to it to like all of a sudden, like ding, we are online and we are in life. We are a participant. We are aware of what's going on as life unfolds. It is truly a magical thing. The smallest miracles then become, first of all, noticeable to you, and then second, relevant. We have to understand the role that our subconscious plays in the picture of life. Like, it's like it plays a major role. And if we can notice this, then we actually get in the picture. We get a say as to what happens in our day, the impact that we make on people. And we get to contribute to actually what happens next because we are conscious. So I just wanted to kind of give you a background of why this topic is so important. And because before I would hear this stuff and I would be like, I don't have time to hear this right now. I'm so busy. Well, it's my subconscious already thinking right there. And I wasn't aware of what I needed. So I'm going to go into, and today I'm just going to talk about the two main steps to really start to shift into our consciousness. Now, I'm going to have a follow-up with this because it has a lot to do with our emotions and things like that. But let's just have the first two starting steps here. And it's first, we need to observe ourselves. And I've talked about this before many times because observing ourselves is a daily practice. And we really do need to take an objective, seat of observation where we are looking at ourselves in a way that we are not judging. And we're looking at our daily behaviors. So our daily behaviors say a lot about us. And I personally started looking from, the moment I wake up, like, what's the first thing that I do? What am I thinking about? What are my intentions? Because your intentions and your values, and I know I've spoke about values a lot, but like your intentions, your subconscious drives your intentions. So if you have a serious wound or something that you're really trying to work through, but you don't realize it, well, that's going to drive your intentions for the day. So observing this stuff can help you catch this. So look at what you do from the morning until the night. And I know a lot of us have some pretty crazy busy lives. So including like how you act at work, how you're parenting, your emotional stability. Really start to observe all of this and notice this without judgment. That's the thing, is that you want to have compassion with yourself. And noticing, first of all, start to notice your thoughts, and seeing that you're separate from your thoughts, your mind. We have our mind, we have our body, we have our soul, and our soul and our spirit within. That is our core. That's our heartstrings, and our mind. It's separate. So when we think here, okay, I'm thinking this. Well, that's interesting. Really start to observe it in a non-judgmental way, because our thoughts, they cause physiological changes, change the way we see our entire environment each day. Guys, our thoughts change our bodies. I'm going to speak from experience. My subconscious had kicked in based on some things that had been going on in my life, and I started to notice more tension throughout my entire body, diseases, sickness. Our immune system breaks down, and this all begins with our thoughts. So is it important to notice our subconscious? Yeah, it's a lifesaver actually, and it can eliminate chronic pain, everything. So, and I can speak from experience this week, because I started to notice, I had extreme neck and shoulder pain again, and I had to get to the root of it through this objective seat of observation. And of course, our subconscious controls our actions when we're not aware of it. So it's almost like if we don't have an awareness of, and we don't step into this consciousness, we're not in the driver's seat. We can think we are. That's the thing. Oh, I thought I was in the driver's seat prior to this. However, start to think here. Do I go about the day and unaware of a lot? Am I in autopilot? Do I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel? If so, you really might want to look into really studying your thoughts, because that is a key to your subconscious. Okay, so one way I started this is I started to think about, patterns or anything that repeats. So start to look at patterns in your life, and you can start to look at maybe experiences that you are noticing, that you keep having the same experiences in your life. And then you can reflect, well, is this an experience I want to continue as a pattern in my life? What's driving this experience? And so you're like, well, how do I do this, Anna? Meditation. So I'm going to include a meditation that can help you with your thoughts. It won't be one that I'm making now. I would love to eventually be able to make some bomb meditations that help you, but I'm not there yet, but I will share with you some of them that I use. So meditation is the first way to really observe your thoughts, and you do have to sit with yourself. It's one subconscious fault that we get into is becoming so productive that we don't even sit down to meditate. We'll listen to a meditation and doing laundry and doing everything else and thinking about other things. You are not going to be observing your thoughts if you're doing that. So, and even thinking, oh, I can't meditate, I can't sit still, I'm too, I have to be productive. That is already your subconscious holding you back from being your most sovereign self. So my first challenge is take the time to observe yourself through meditation. Right? And with meditation, what I want you to do is really be thinking, okay, I'm going to meet my internal world, and I'm going to actually have an awareness of it. Your internal world shapes everything. I think about the 18 years that I have taught and how I could have viewed students so differently back in the day, just by thinking, okay, what is going on in their internal world? Like really thinking deeper. I mean, looking around at the souls around me, even when I was just walking the dogs this morning, every soul, every person you walk by is a human body with a soul and a spirit inside, with an internal state of being going on that affects how they see the external. So think about that, and that also can help you see others around you. But we want to merge with the internal and know that our mind, that we are not our thoughts. We're separate. We are separate from this. And have this reality check with a collection of our thoughts subconsciously throughout the day, looking at that, gathering that in that compassionate, non-judgmental way, and getting a situational awareness of what we're actually going through each day and the way that we are going about our day, and seeing if it's serving us is so important, because we'll start to view, the more we do this, the more power that we give ourselves, because we then no longer give our subconscious. It's almost like, oh, I remember I was actually teaching a lesson about this last summer, and it's almost like we are, it's we're the captain of the ship. We truly are. Our consciousness is, but our subconscious is our crew. And when we do not step into consciousness, it's like we're given our crew the control of the entire ship, and our crew, they're not the captain. So that's another analogy. Instead of saying we don't have control of the wheel when we're driving, our subconscious does. We can actually take the power. How do we do this? We look at our thoughts collectively throughout the day. We gather them, and then we have that situational awareness with wisdom and knowledge outside of our subconscious. And then that is when we do become more powerful, and in an empowering way, we view our internal and then our external world in such a different way. So without meditation and without addressing our subconscious, we can get confused. And I am going to speak from experience. So we can lose trust within ourselves, because if our subconscious is actually driving us without our knowledge, we can think like, oh, I'm going to trust my intuition, I'm going to follow this. But really we're reacting in emotions and with thoughts that really our mind cannot fathom the bigger picture of life, and it can react in the moment. It can thrive in a not a good way on our desires that we think we need right away, but really don't serve us. It can react in anger. All emotions are valid, and I'm going to speak about that tomorrow, and also talk about how we can help our youth with emotions, because I just have been given some insight that I really want to share with our youth this summer. But what can happen is that we can think that we're trusting our intuition, and we are so confused, and our thoughts then would drive us, and then we're like, well, I don't even know if I have intuition, and then we lose trust within ourselves. But we can gain back that trust by stepping into consciousness, and it is our goal is we want to be able to trust our own intuition and have that inner knowing, and be able to be more of a oneness with our divine, with God, with our purpose and with the light within us, because we all have a light within us, every single one of us. And the thing is, though, is that every single time that one of those lack of needs, that we did not feel heard, we have not felt seen, or we did not have a space to express ourselves, and we abandon ourselves because of this to then fit into the mold of someone else. Anytime we go against who we truly are, what we're doing is we're dimming that light within us, and all of us could be shining very, very brightly. So what we want to do is we want to view our thoughts as neutral, and we want to get that power back so we can trust our own intuition. This can help us just as citizens of everyday world. When you go into the workplace, even if you're working from home, the way you interact with people when you get online. I mean, how powerful can this affect you as a parent, stepping into consciousness? I'm not a parent, but I have, I've interacted with my students for 18 years. And this is kindergarten through 6th grade. I've seen students from morning until afternoon with me in the classroom each day, and they've become a family each year. And so I have seen, even as a teacher, stepping into consciousness, how it affects who you interact with. And so the children who you are with. So, I mean, goodness, as a parent, this is such an empowering thing to do. So I encourage you to take the time to meditate, to observe your thoughts. And so the first step, observe ourselves and our daily behaviors. And as we're observing, making sure we are not judging, but what I want you to do in that observing is to separate yourself from your thoughts and just really just take a collection of what thoughts you're having throughout the day. And then second, instead of bullying those thoughts, direct your attention toward them. So really just like focus on them for a second, but not in an unhealthy way. Allow them to come. View them as separate. And then here's the second step, is now start to make a connection of your habits to your thoughts. So there's an actual action step with this. When I make this connection, when I say we all have a light within us, we all have this natural joy and happiness, that unspeakable joy. It's like when you feel your heartstrings being tugged, and like you feel like just a connection with the world and with others, and just you don't need the external. You have the joy within and the love within. That's what we want to cultivate. So look at your habits and look at your thoughts, connect them, and then ask yourself, viewing your soul separate from these, what's cultivating joy and happiness in my life here? What am I observing that's moving me toward my most sovereign self? And what is taking away joy and happiness, like the pure joy and happiness? Now, I'm not talking about happiness like, oh, I have a goal to go and get a new vehicle because I think that's going to make me happy. I mean, that's great, but we all know that we're going to get a new vehicle and then we'll get tired of it one day. So I'm not talking about external things. So what is cultivating that joy and happiness outside of the external? So the internal joy and happiness. And so there's an actual way, and I'm going to also leave this below as an attachment. I like to think of like, not just because I used to always keep a diary, and I'm a huge advocate of like keeping journals, but this one is like a future self journal. So I say intention is everything. Well, this is an intention with a journal. So a future self journal really focuses on tracking your intentions each day. And, you know, if you're moving toward your future self in a non-judgmental way, and, you know, are you bettering your soul's path? And I was even thinking about, I was actually talking to my older brother where we were texting about it, and thinking of life not necessarily as a journey to a destination, but just embracing each day and thinking, am I cultivating that joy and happiness within my soul, and looking outside of, almost like stepping above yourself and seeing your thoughts, connecting them to your habits. And you know, it's almost like putting an observational spotlight on yourself, and think, what's coloring my actions and my thoughts each day, and how can I shift this? So this is just a start of stepping into consciousness, but it's the part one. So we can listen to this stuff all day, every day, and it's kind of hard to retain it. So what I am doing, so if you are inspired by this and you want to follow up on it, this is what I've done. Below is a meditation that is free to listen to, and it will help you. And here's my word of advice: don't multitask when you listen to it. Taking a bath, that's fine. Sit back, relax, use a neck rest. That's how I got rid of my neck pain. Or, you know, find some you time, and it's a short meditation, and really start to observe your thoughts. And see yourself as separate from your thoughts, view them in a non-judgmental way. And then 2, instead of bullying those thoughts, direct your attention to them, allowing them to come, and then connect your thoughts to your habits. And asking yourself, am I cultivating joy and happiness within? What is cultivating joy and happiness within? What is not? And then you can reflect in your future self journal. Something that I do every once in a while in the future self journal too is I will actually then looking at my, sorry, wow. I think about outside of my thoughts when I more so connect my habits. There are certain days where I'll actually track my habits throughout the day and then I rate them 1 to 10. How much joy and happiness internally did this actually bring me? And if it is below an 8, I cross it out and I think, well, what can I do instead? And some subconscious things that I have noticed that are driving some habits that do not cultivate joy and happiness is like I procrastinate because I don't believe that I can do things. I don't believe in myself. I have disbeliefs. So like that's where we're going to get into during Thursday's video is really a deeper dive into consciousness and how we can really step into this and not become our most sovereign selves just for me, not just for you, but for the people around you. Like if you're a parent for your children, you know, if you're not a parent, for all of your friends and family around you. And oh my goodness, when you do this, you can unlock so many spiritual gifts and so many just untapped talents within yourself that can help ignite fire within others around you, because we all have that light. And to be quite honest, a lot of us have unfortunately dimmed our light and we don't even realize that. So I encourage you today, check out everything that I've posted below. It's all free. And I will be talking about on Thursday as well, some things that I've created that can help our youth. I have a primary meeting for elementary and intermediate for middle school. Some programs that can help students with their emotions and also with their thoughts and really prepare them over the summer for the new school year. I usually I focus a lot on academics, but and I can still do that, but I'm shifting more also in knowing that if I'm so aware that the internal affects the external, well, the internal also even affects how students approach academics and everything in life. So I think that this is something that I can step into to help our youth as well. So I have nothing but love for you guys. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already, because I'm learning so much and I'm going to continue to post every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you like this video, go ahead and like and click the bell for notifications. I encourage you to keep growing and giving. Don't give up on yourself, and have compassion on yourself and those around you. Everyone is trying the best that they can where they're at and working through things. So let's love and spread our light today and just embrace the gift of today. And let's continue this dance of evolving. All right, bye guys.